Kind of this presentation should be a demonstration, but I can't be there with you today. So if you're going to be working with mold, there's a short YouTube video that I think may be very helpful in reminding you what's important, along with providing a great demonstration of mold mitigation. I'm going to send a link to this YouTube video along with the set of PowerPoints after this presentation. And that'll give you a chance to see how it's done. I think that's a really important point. And so I think we're on target for 6:30. Although I can't find out what time it is. I can't see that far. So yeah, I'll just address some of the questions that have come up while I've been talking. Jared suggests disposable work clothes, avoiding putting clothing in family laundering machines. Well, you know, technically, I think mold spores would be cleaned out of cloth, and so I don't think there's any problem putting clothing in family laundry machines. But disposable work clothes, yeah, that would work. No problem there. Yes, Dominic, we'll give you a copy of the slides as I'm after this presentation. What if you don't wash away Clorox in the attic roof deck? Well, I don't think maybe I'll open that up to my building science experts. I don't think that bleach poses a long-term problem in wood, you know, as long as you're not soaking the wood in bleach. So I don't think there's a problem with that, Ed. That might be a solution to wood fibers that are infected with mold. But there's a good question. If any of you hardcore... very good. Thank you, Ron. Ron says bleach does not hurt wood fibers. So, so that's a good thing. So be careful with it, but that may be a way, if you can drench those joists that we were talking about that are mold infected, if you can drench those in bleach, maybe that's a good way to go. Is that what they clean drains with and get it too hot from the chemical reaction? I am not sure what they clean drains with that gets hot. I know what you're talking about, but I can't tell you if that's what it is. And yes, thank you, Patricia. It's 6:38, so that means that anybody who's interested in leaving, feel free to leave. We were never holding you here to begin with, but feel free to stay on and ask questions too. Excuse me, Ron. You said bleach does hurt wood fibers. Sorry, I guess I read that wrong. So, thank you, Ron. So I guess that's not an answer. Bleach does hurt wood fibers. I'm not sure if I can tell you anything more about that, but I will. I'll look into that. And 15-minute life. I'm not sure what you mean there. And how many of our BPCA members are working in this field cleaning mold? I can't answer that question offhand, but I imagine it's all hands on deck out there on Long Island. In New York City, we do not have that many BPCA contractors. So, cotton fiber supports mold spores. Tyvek disposable covers is what I was referring to when I suggested disposable work clothing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Cotton fibers does support mold spores, but if you wash it, I don't think the mold spores will remain in the cotton fibers. So, but you're absolutely right that you do not want those fibers in your clothing for any period of time. And you don't want to be exposed to them, and you don't even want to bring them home. But so disposable coveralls, very good idea. And thank you very much, Lawrence. I will. Yeah, very good. I know there's a. Oh well, we can continue that conversation. That's kind of offline. What do you know about a product called Shockwave to kill mold? I do not know about that product. If anybody else on the line knows about Shockwave, feel free to chime in, and I'll put it on my list of things to check out. Yes, good point. Thank you, Jarrett. You're right. Always reducing risk is a good thing. And yeah, even the, so I can get that, Jarrett, you are taking this mold thing very seriously, as we all should. Because, yeah, mitigate the risk of mold if we can. Okay, thank you very much for being here, Robert. If you wipe mold down with vinegar, can it grow back, and how long? Yes, mold can always grow back if there's moisture in the air and there's mold spores flying around the house. It can always grow back on any surface because if you leave vinegar on the surface, it will be inhibited. But yeah, it can always grow back. So the key to controlling mold is to control moisture over the long run. Ronald has experienced bleaching oak for pigment control. Too much bleach causes the wood to appear as though it were a frayed rope. Very interesting, Ronald. Yeah, one time I bleached, I thought I'd bleach a towel, and I put a towel into bleach and it totally dissolved. Okay, I was a kid back then. But anyway, it's... yeah, so I don't know what bleaching does to wood, but I assume that, when you're talking about that, Ronald, you were bleaching, repeatedly to bleach the oak, and after a while, it would cause the oak to appear as though it were a frayed rope. Yeah, it's a very caustic substance. And let me see, even with borax, I don't know the first part of that question. I'm sorry, even with borax. Can you reframe that question for me? Many homeowners are not aware. I was in a home in Oceanside where the homeowner thought it was good, since they dealt with obvious surface conditions, never thinking about the interior of the base. That's exactly why I felt this webinar was so important, to get to the contractors that are working out there on the cleanup. And I may do this webinar again next week if I can get the City of New York to push it out to those webinars. I mean, to those contractors. Sorry. Okay. Generally, oak floors. Yeah. Well. Yeah, I think probably all wood is affected in the same way, Ron. Does it grow back? Oh, does it grow back even if saturated with borax? Technically, no. That's one of the reasons that borax is probably a better product to use, because you can leave it on there and it may keep it from growing back. But again, the variable there is the amount of moisture in the air and the amount of mold that has infected the wood. So, that's the key there, Tim. And yes, Jared suggests the key is rapid drying out of the building, as you said. Yeah, so I reached out to the City of New York because I got a press release on their rapid repair program, which is being run by the Tishman construction group. Tishman is a very large a large construction company. They probably are not very focused on residential. So they're managing the project, but I doubt they're really focused on this issue. So I'm going to continue to reach out to those contractors and try to make sure they understand the importance of mold. Don't forget to watch out for damage to basement foundations due to hydrostatic pressure. Good point. Remind contractors of the whole building model. Yes. Thank you very much, Jarrett. I'm going to add one more slide here. Let me just make a note of that. Yes, the power of flooding damage is multifaceted. It's really true. And I've just been astounded to see the damage that Hurricane Sandy has caused, you know. Compared to New Orleans, I think, you know, we got off easy, but gosh, they're still dealing with the hurricane down in New Orleans, and that was so many years ago. So anyway, I'm happy to continue to answer questions, but I want to thank you all for attending, anyone who's going to drop off. And here's my contact information. And I will send out an email by the end of the night, including my presentation and a link to the YouTube video. So Jared says, we had a chimney on a building that pulled 3 inches away over a 20-foot length. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, you know, a lot of these homes are built in the sand, I think. So anyway, yes, thank you all for coming. And any more questions, email them to me. And let us know if we can do anything to help you guys. We really do, our hearts go out to you, those guys who are suffering from the hurricane, and wish we could do more. So let us know. Take care, everybody.